Did you know that tiramisu was created in a brothel? Maybe. Tiramisu, the Italian dessert made with ladyfingers soaked in coffee, a smooth mascarpone cheese filling topped off with cocoa powder, was known to be used in brothels in Treviso, Italy, as an energy booster and aphrodisiac since tiramisu literally means pick-me-up. And I say it might have been created in a brothel because no one knows for certain where it originated. Along with the brothel theory, some say it was also created at a restaurant La Bacchiere, and others say it was created by Mario Casolo from Friuli. Oh my god. And others say it was created by Mario Casolo in 1938 to honor King Vittorio Emanuele. Who knows? Again, no one is really certain. Regardless though of where it may have come from, it's still enjoyed and loved by many today. Heck, you can most likely find some pre-made in your local supermarket. So I want to take this opportunity to use this video to explore tiramisu a bit and even learn how to make it myself from scratch. I'm going to start with checking out the tiramisu that's sold in grocery store bakeries. Then I'm going to see what's at different restaurants. And then finally, I'll make it myself. Let's get going. So starting off, I got this tiramisu from the supermarket right here. It's pretty much the same no matter what supermarket you go to. It's all really just kind of like in a cake form. They don't really do it like with the whole lady fingers and all that like it's traditionally supposed to be done. But yeah, it's kind of just like, it's the same premise though. You got the cake bit, which is just in place of lady fingers, soaked in some coffee kind of on top. Then you got like, I guess it's, yeah, the cream, which probably just kind of like an icing in between, and a little bit of chocolate on top. Most like tiramisu you're gonna find like in a store or something, like a Walmart, H-E-B, stuff like that. It's gonna be like in cake form like this. I mean, it's still good. It's not like your standard, they didn't just cheap out and do standard icing on top. It's actually like they made it with like, to be honest, I've never really had authentic tiramisu to this point, but it's different from like your standard icing. I'm not sure what they made it with, but it's not the standard stuff. That's all I can say right now. At this point, I haven't had anything other than like this type of tiramisu. But it is good. It is really moist. The coffee, the cream, it all kind of like really moistens up that cake. There's in between. I don't think anybody who eats this is going to hate this unless, you know, I have the tiramisu later and it's just like God tier above this. I couldn't tell you. I will know later. But it's enjoyable to eat. I would give it a good old like 9 out of 10. Moist, flavorful, creamy. I don't know if I'd spend like $9 on one of these things though. I don't know, a little expensive. So is Olive Garden authentic Italian? No, at least not from what I've been told at least. I don't know, man. I've never been to Italy. Is Olive Garden at least regular Italian? Yeah, sure. I'll go with sure. As far as America is concerned, at least. Does Olive Garden sell and serve tiramisu? Yes, absolutely. That's 2 out of 3. Not bad. That says 66%. That's still failing. More like 50% if I'm being honest. I'm eating tiramisu from the Olive Garden. Why not?
Olive Garden. First thing I gotta say about Olive Garden tiramisu is that like you're paying a restaurant, you're gonna pay bigger prices. It was like this is the size of it. You're paying like $10 for this when I paid like $9 for the bigger piece over at the supermarket. So maybe it's worth it though. See, I'm already seeing the layers here. I assumed it was going to be more or less of the Olive Garden kind of just like layered the same way, whereas like different cake layers are just one cake layer and all that. But no, they've actually kind of got like, I don't even know if I could show it on here. So I'm just going to show you through a little video I recorded after the fact. But yeah, it seems they actually do use like the lady fingers, or at least like bare minimum some type of cake like rolls or something. It's not one solid line. It's just like different bits like you would with lady fingers, laying it down like that. Yeah, there you go. There's like a whole finger right there. I don't know, it's been a minute. I don't think I've ever just had directly a lady finger. Is it different than cake? Is it just like a cake slab, a little cake finger? I don't know. It's a little frozen, so you can kind of tell they just like, obviously it's the Olive Garden, you know? I don't know who thinks they're authentic Italian cuisine, but I hate to be the one to bring it to you. They are not. Sorry. But it's not bad. Cream's good. Got a little cocoa on top. It's inoffensive. It's good. I would probably just get the store one. I feel like it was just a little better. And it's just, you get more for your money. Just a little bit. But this is okay. Like, if I'm over there at the Olive Garden, I'm just like, I want tiramisu. I wouldn't be upset with this. This is fine. But yeah, I'd probably give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's good, but it's nothing special. I'm not gonna like brag about this. The tiramisu at the Olive Garden.
Now, next on the list, I wanted to try an Italian restaurant that had authentic Italian recipes, and as an extension, an authentic tiramisu, so I could have a better reference for when I make my own tiramisu. Now, would that be possible in the United States? In Texas, of all states? I think I managed to find something with the restaurant Pane e Vino. Kind of hard to know for certain since, you know, I've never been to Italy. But Lucy and Fabrizio Paletta, the owners, say in their statement, "We want people to come here, and even if they just order a cappuccino to take a couple hours, know that it is okay. If you go to Rome, Florence, Venice, and Milano, it is going to be like that." And honestly, that's just all I want right now. I just want to know that everything's going to be okay, all right? Went into the Pane e Vino, and pretty swanky. A little small, but pretty nice. Overall, it had a pretty nice date night vibe. They give you free bread with olive oil and herbs for dipping. It's good. Had the pollo al marsala for my lunch. Chicken was tender, sauce was light, and wasn't over-seasoned. And the pasta was, it was pasta. 9 out of 10. Wait, you guys are here for the tiramisu, the whole point of the video. Not chicken and pasta.
Boo.
Not bad. Got the tiramisu for dessert, and it was honestly the best tiramisu I had so far. Looked pretty similar to what you'd get at the Olive Garden, at least looks-wise, but Pane e Vino wasn't partially frozen like the Olive Garden tiramisu. And the cream was, well, creamier.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure how else to say that one. The tiramisu cream kind of held together like it was one unit. Kind of just like there was a little bit of gelatin in there. Like a little bit. Not sure if Olive Garden tiramisu has gelatin in their cream, and I'm not making that claim. That's just how it seemed to me based off of one try. Also, the Pane e Vino one, the lady fingers were more soaked with the coffee, so you got more of that coffee flavor, which I enjoyed. And you will too if you like coffee. Although if you don't like coffee, you probably shouldn't be getting tiramisu. That's kind of the main flavor. But if you are trying to get a tiramisu and you want something with like less of a coffee flavor, maybe pick Olive Garden over the Pane e Vino one, because with Pane e Vino, they soak those lady fingers in coffee, like fully. Overall, the Pane e Vino one just kind of felt like it was more actually made there, like in-house, as opposed to just like frozen in a box, which you can tell that like Olive Garden did. They probably most likely got theirs frozen in a box delivered to them. Solid 9 out of 10. Also, the berries and mint were a nice touch. Pretty good. And I ended the meal with a cappuccino because, again, I just want to know everything's going to be okay. Ah!
Oh yeah, they also had a Minuti coffee right next door, which I did not know was an Italian-themed coffee shop. Cool. Full. Alright, time to make my own now.
Back at Kroger for ingredients. It's always Kroger.
Mascarpone. Some lady fingers. I could have sworn cocoa powder used to be like $2 at one point. What has happened in this country? And some strong coffee. Doesn't get
Stronger than death, I guess.
Honestly, I thought this would cost less, but oh well.
Was originally going to try for a complete absorption of the coffee into the ladyfingers, because that's how I liked it at the Pane e Vino. But I did a little research, and I learned that apparently having the ladyfingers entirely submerged with the coffee is considered a failure. Ladyfingers are supposed to have 2 layers in the tiramisu. One where it was submerged in the coffee, and one clear pale section where it wasn't touched by the coffee. Oh, why? For structural integrity. The ladyfinger will collapse otherwise. But, you know, obviously, who cares? If you want to fully submerge your ladyfinger in coffee and just have it collapse, you know, that fine, go for it. I'm not your dad. Do what you want. You can eat your food however you want to eat your food. As long as you don't get sick and die, you're good. First thing you're gonna do is prepare the coffee like I've done right here. Make sure it's warmed up for now because you don't want it to cool down just yet. Take 4 room temperature eggs. Separate the egg yolks and egg whites into 2 different mixing bowls. And put a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar in with the egg yolks. Then whisk that stuff together until creamy. The recipe says to use an electric mixer or hand mixer, but I don't have those things, so brawn it is. Say that's pretty creamy, looks good. Then 1 pound, 1 ounces of this mascarpone cheese right here, which is literally just 2 of these containers. If you can find the Murray's ones, it's perfect. Just the entire contents of 2 of these. Then you're gonna add that cheese to the egg yolk and sugar mixture. Then with a spatula, just gently mix all this stuff together until it's smooth. There you go. I think it's pretty smooth. I think I buffed out all the lumps here for the most part. It's looking good. Nice and creamy. You're gonna take these egg whites in this separate bowl over here and whisk them up until they are stiff peaks. And again, no electric mixer here, so brawn, I guess. Never mind, I was pretty much told immediately that we do have an electric hand mixer, so yeah! Yeah, it's what stiff peaks looks like. You're basically gonna just like pull it out after you're done, and it's not gonna move. No jiggling. Yeah, that took me like 3 minutes to blend up as opposed to like the plain brawn method of like 20 so minutes. So just buy a hand mixer if you don't have one, okay? We live in the electronic age now, all right? Get with the times. Then you're gonna take the egg white mixture just bit by bit. The recipe says not the whole thing, just bit by bit, and just kind of like fold it into here. Fold it in. And that's what my completed mixture looks like. Egg whites and egg yolk sugar mixture right here with the mascarpone cheese. Pretty creamy looking. Good. And honestly, it occurred to me that this mixture here just has raw egg in it, and we're not gonna bake it. So, future Jameson, can you look up why it's okay to just eat raw egg in here like this? I'm sure there's a reason I don't know about. Eating raw eggs can give you salmonella, but you can eat raw eggs no problem as long as they're pasteurized. However, even if you accidentally eat raw eggs, chances of getting salmonella are actually much lower today than in the 80s and the 90s, back when they were spiking up. But if you'd like to be safe, just make sure that you use pasteurized eggs. You can either just buy them in the store that way or do it yourself. I didn't use pasteurized eggs. I didn't realize at the time, but I'm not dead, so it's fine, I guess. Whatever. After that, you're gonna take an 8x8 inch pan and then just put some of that cream on the bottom there. And then fill up the bottom with whatever portion you feel is necessary. Then you're gonna take these lady fingers here and dip them for 1 second into moderately hot coffee and layer it on top of the cream like so. And I said moderately hot coffee because it's important that you regulate the temperature on this stuff, because I did some research on this and I learned that the temperature of said coffee depends on how quickly it is absorbed into the ladyfinger. Like, here's an example that I did using the different methods. So this was piping hot coffee. Just as soon as I put it out the pot, I dipped one in, it soaked it all the way through, as you can see. This is the moderately hot for 1 second. It just kind of like there's a clear paleness in there. And here is cold brew. 1 second on all 3 of these, just a reminder. Whenever I dipped it in there for 1 second, it didn't absorb as fast. I guess because the heat helps with that. I don't know the science on it. And I did notice these two, the moderate hot and the cold brew, had kind of like a crunch whenever I cut into them. But there were crumbs on the cold brew one, but no crumbs on the moderately hot. So moderately hot seems to be the perfect one for it, as it said in the recipe. They know better than me, so yeah. But I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want a crunchier ladyfinger, go for it. Do the cold brew. If you want like totally disintegrated mush of a ladyfinger, use the hot. Whatever yucks your yum. I'm not your dad. See, you got to be careful with that timing, because I did 2 seconds instead of the 1 like it said, and the whole thing disintegrated. So, 1 second. Just one. And voila, that's one full layer, just kind of like nice and even like that. It's like you're making a lasagna, you know, think of it like that. Or a cake, either one. Are lasagnas cakes? Yeah, I guess, they're just savory cakes. You know, it's all just carb and cream with these things, so whatever. Then just put a whole other layer of cream on top of that, and you just keep on repeating it until you're out of cream. Then you put another layer of cream on top of those ladyfingers, and you just keep on repeating until you're out of cream.
Nice.
Lastly, you just take some cocoa powder, just kind of like drizzle it on there, however you see fit, until it's covered. And there you go, finished tiramisu. It's not gorgeous looking, but it'll do. As far as the ladyfinger layers and cream went, I did like 2 different layers of ladyfingers. That seems to be pretty standard any tiramisu I'd get. So expect 2, unless you want to get a really deep pan and go higher. It's on you. Then you're gonna want to put that tiramisu in the fridge for a little bit, kind of let those flavors and textures all meld together. And there you go. All there's left to do is wait, just like overnight or a few hours. Now, I've seen tiramisu recipes where they did it with a different flavor that wasn't coffee. There's a strawberry one. They got a lemon here. Heck, even this really delicious looking, citrus looking one. I gotta make that later in my free time. All tasty looking options. No wrong answers here. However, tiramisu literally does mean pick me up, meaning there should probably be some caffeine in there, right? Right? So in spirit of that, I should probably find a liquid that has some caffeine in it. Something like Dr. Pepper. By the way, it did say in the beginning to go ahead and let your mascarpone cheese and your eggs, give them like 15 minutes to cool down to warm up to room temperature. I forgot to do that with this batch. And I noticed it's a lot harder to get these little lumps out. So make sure you give it time to warm up before you mix. You know, less work in the future for you if you do. Actually, you know what, forget it. It's been 20 minutes. I've been at this for 20 minutes trying to buff all the little lumps out, and it just isn't happening. This is a stupid one anyway, so I'm gonna allow the defect, whatever. Just learn from it. Now this here's Dr. Pepper. It might kind of look like coffee, but kind of not, because you can see all these little bubbles popping in. Coffee doesn't do that, but yeah, this is Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I had to do like 5 seconds on these as opposed to the 1 second test. Yeah, no joke on the temperature when it comes to these ladyfingers. Like, the Dr. Pepper's pretty ice cold for the most part. I was submerging it even 5 seconds in the Dr. Pepper, and even still, it was barely soggy to the touch. But I'm noticing as I'm touching it, like it's kind of like giving more give here. So I think maybe it just takes time to set in. Yeah, that's all the ladyfingers on that one. Yeah, it got to a point where I just like stopped counting, and I just decided, screw it, I'm just gonna like submerge it in the Dr. Pepper until it starts to give way and break up a bit. Ta-da! All right, and now we wait. Little chunky. Time to eat. Not the prettiest looking tiramisu, but I bet she tastes just fine. Just get in there. Well, I tried to get it out all pretty, but it didn't work out super well. Could be worse though. But like in this bit, you can tell, they kind of softened up a bit. I think the coffee had a chance to soak in a little more, because it looks a little more thoroughly soaked through. All right, let's try it. Oh, my version has more cream than anything, but it's just the way I layered it, I guess. Cream is nice and smooth, tasty, sweet. Those, the lady fingers, here's my thought on that. I feel like regardless of how well you soak these lady fingers, they could be super crispy. You could not even put coffee on them. You could probably just sit there and submerge them in the cream, and I imagine they'll be fully soft by the time you're ready to eat it within a few hours. I don't think that part really matters. I think it really just depends on how much coffee you want in your ladyfingers. So that's where the temperature of the coffee is pretty much going to come into play there. Yeah, pretty spanking good. Like a 9 out of 10. It's hard to say any of these tiramisus have been like bad. Like tiramisu really just isn't like a hard thing to make. It's literally just like strawberry shortcake, but with coffee, if you think about it. Like you don't even really have to make the cream. You could literally just use like whipped cream if you want to keep this super easy. And now for the funny one. Good old Dr. Pepper tiramisu. A vision of beauty, truly. Yeah, as you can already tell, like the Dr. Pepper didn't like further soak into like the ladyfinger or anything. And this was me doing this for like, I think I stopped up to like 10, 15 seconds even. So cold Dr. Pepper takes a lot of time to soak into a ladyfinger. Now I'm just kind of worried if I'm gonna get any Dr. Pepper. Now I'm just worried if I'm gonna get any Dr. Pepper flavor in there at all. Hold on. I'm not really getting a lot of Dr. Pepper. Yeah, no, I don't think that worked out too well. I think it's literally just because it was cold. You can't really tell. It's not offensive, but you can't really tell what's in there. Like if I were to give this to somebody, I would just assume they would have no clue as to what is flavoring this. It would just be like, cool, you made tiramisu and you went super weak on the coffee. That was probably it. But yeah, the cream was richer, and I just kind of assumed it's because I messed up and didn't wait for the mascarpone cheese and the eggs to like get to room temperature first. So kind of, you know, the little bits in there that didn't really blend well kind of just translated to creamier, thicker, richer cream. Overall, it's fine. I mean, I wish I would have just heated up the Dr. Pepper first and then done that. That probably would have been the better way to go if you actually want to try to do a real Dr. Pepper tiramisu for some reason at your own house. I don't know. Overall, if you're making tiramisu and you want to just put any like liquid flavor into these ladyfingers for the flavoring of it, make sure that liquid is at least moderately hot, not like scorching hot, but just, you know, at least fairly warm. Otherwise, it's not going to soak through the ladyfinger properly. I give this one a 7 out of 10. It's fine, it's good, but like it's just like it's like tiramisu with no coffee. It's nothing special. Maybe also don't like get a bunch of that cocoa on top just in your mouth without wetting it first. I don't know. I just got a lot coughing now. Overall, basically no option was bad. Like, if you just want a quick slice, there's nothing wrong with buying a piece from the store or like something from Olive Garden, a fancy Italian restaurant or whatever. But personally, I would just make it at home. Like, altogether, it was like 44, $45 to like get all the ingredients for that. But most of that stuff is like reusable. Like the sugar, the eggs, the cocoa powder, stuff like that, the coffee. A lot of that's just stuff you already have at home. If you want to just like make it again, it's probably like another $15 or so just to buy like the mascarpone cheese and like a pack of ladyfingers. And even then, if you just want to be cheap and lazy on the mascarpone cheese part, don't buy that and just buy a thing of whipped cream instead, or a couple things. It would cost you like anywhere from like $2 to $5 probably. Because, like, really, the whole thing is just pretty easy to make. The hardest part is just the mascarpone cheese part, where it's just you're mixing eggs and, like, mascarpone cheese and egg whites. That's it. You're just mixing stuff. That's really it. No bacon involved. And what if you don't like coffee, but you want to make tiramisu? Honestly, if you really think about it, tiramisu is just a coffee version of, like, a strawberry shortcake. If you want to, like, sub the coffee out for any other liquid that you want, go for it. You know, sky's the limit. Do whatever you want. Again, I would just recommend, you know, making sure that liquid is a little hot first, you know, at least moderately, so it'll soak through the ladyfingers. Kind of didn't work well with a cold soda, so, you know, keep that in mind. You can do orange juice, a hot Sprite, Pepto-Bismol even, pig blood tiramisu. Huh. Well, anyway, that's all for now. I need to figure out what I'm going to make for the next video. I guess I'll see you in a month, because that's kind of the pace of these videos I've noticed. For now, get out of my house or this apartment that I rent and don't own. See ya.